second episode of I Waited, Was It Worth It? I'm your host, Jade Jabri, and thank you guys for joining me. Again, I hope that you enjoyed episode 1. So today, y'all know why we're here. For the meat and potatoes, the tea, the point, right? And so I gave you guys some of my disclaimers last time. You know, I'm not a professional psychiatrist or a psychologist. But through my personal experience and the research that I've done and some of the things I'm going to go over with you guys today, I want to talk about how I'm dealing with narcissistic abuse, how I came to that conclusion, and what I'm doing to heal from it. I talked to you guys last time about how I found out my relationship needed to come to an end. About 10 days before that, I was like, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to start working out. And a girl that I follow on Facebook, a friend of mine, she was drinking this tea and seeing great results without having to do a whole lot of physical changes. And it was a slow change to her, you know, working out, and a slow change to her diet. But the detox tea is what this is, was helping her a lot. So I said, oh my God, I'm going to try that. And so within that 10 days, I had lost like the 9 pounds. And I was like, I'm going to start working out. And but on that 10th day, my world blew up, and so I didn't get to work out. But this tea, and I have a thing called NutriBurst that they sell, is like a multivitamin. It gives you energy, the detox, and helping me to lose weight. And I really credit some of my healing and my journey to the NutriBurst, to say that the days in the mornings when I told you guys, I have 2 small kids, and it took everything out of me just to get up and cook my kids breakfast or smile and play with them. That NutriBurst really gave me the energy to get through it. And as I started losing weight, and you know, you start losing weight, you can move better, you can move quicker. And so now that I'm 3 months, right? March, April, May, June, July, 3 months or 4 months. Y'all watch me count. 4 months gone and almost 30 pounds down. I'm like, yo, and I've started, you know, incorporating exercise. I'm excited to see what happens next. I want to say, you know, a little bit of, what is the word? Metaphor, okay, for the lemon. We're about to take these lemons that the situation was and make lemonade, detox lemonade. So anyways, let's fast forward and dive right in. So y'all, my relationship came to an end. Did I tell you guys about COVID, the coronavirus of 2020? That 10 days was probably like March 8th when I got the tea. March 18th, it was a regular day in my mind. I think it was the end of the spring break. We were getting ready to start the new spring break. Or, new spring break isn't real. But then spring break again, right? Extended spring break. So for that spring break week here in San Antonio, I was going to work at 5 a.m. I would stay to work. My ex was going to work at 5 a.m. Stay to work at 9 because he have clients.
Are we saying ex?
Yeah. Okay. And then 12 to 5, and then again at 6. So basically all day, being gone all day at work. So that happened for about a week, which is makes sense because everybody's off from school. So this particular day, he went to work at 5, and now it was about 10, and I was just texting. The night before, we had, you know, we've been having a bunch of tension and issues and trying to figure out, you know, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Why are we just so disconnected? What have I done? What can I do? That sort of thing. So I'm in good faith. I text, hey, is this one of those days you're going to be gone all day? Or you're going to come home for lunch, or you're going to a break? So when I come home, his job just closed for the, you know, the government, the COVID shutdowns or whatever. And so he said, I'm going to grab some food and I'll be on my way. I'm not going to lie, I was a little happy because we've been working. We had some money saved, and quality time is my love language. And I was like, we're finally going to have nothing but space and opportunity and time to work on our relationship, spend time with our kids. And, you know, we're going to use this time to be stronger and better. Right. And then I knew that his clients were going to be like Zoomable and all kind of stuff. So in my mind, this is about to be great and glorious. So he comes home and he doesn't say anything, goes straight to the restroom, gets in the shower. Okay, you've been up since 5, you've been gone all day. I get it. But he takes a 3-hour nap. And now this isn't typical because, like I said, I have the 2 small children. And my youngest one, he's disrespectful. He doesn't care nothing about wake up times. He wakes up at 6 a.m. It doesn't matter what time he went to sleep. It doesn't matter how many times he woke up overnight. He's waking up at 6 and he's ready to party. So I've been up since 6. And usually at his break, y'all go say hi. I take a little break myself, right? But not today. Okay, I get it. I knew he was gonna be a little sad about the closing, so I had messaged him. You know, like I said, we've got some money in the bank. You've been working really hard. We're gonna be okay. Excited. God bless you. We can work on our family stuff. Now, after a 3-hour nap, he wakes up and says, I'm gonna go to the park. I'm just really stressed. Got a lot going on, and I was like, I too would like a break. Like, I thought your 3-hour nap was a break, and I felt like his stress that day did not match the situation. He lost his job, but he didn't lose, like, you know, people were losing restaurants and they weren't gonna be able to reopen. It was like, this is just a temporary thing. You're still gonna be able to be okay. I mean, I get it's hard, but it's like he was way too all over the place for this, and just it didn't make any sense. And I was like, well, and I told him, I think, you know, your stress doesn't match the situation. What's going on? I'm depressed. I'm having these issues that and third, and you're just coming at me right now. And I told you I needed a break. I needed a minute. I just don't feel, and he told me, he said, I don't feel that I can't communicate with somebody right now. I can't be close to somebody right now, and I can't talk to someone. I feel like I cannot grow and improve right now in this relationship, basically. And that's why, because you want a divorce? Said, no, that's not what I'm saying at all. So all of that is like, just, okay, go to the park. As long as somebody gets a break, and then I guess that's what's most important. So I go and I talk to my mom, and I'm like, Mom, I think I'm getting a divorce. And she was like, child, why? I said, because he's saying, like, if you can't be close, you can't talk, you can't da-da-da-da, that's not, like, you're not married. Like, he's saying all the things except for the word divorce. She said, y'all need to talk. Y'all just need to talk, and you need to figure it out. So I'm calling him, texting him, no response. So I download this thing on T-Mobile. Shout out for FamilyWare, and I'm trying to like figure out basically where he's at. So I'm about like this close to getting in a car and being like, where, you know, I'm coming to where you are. So let me call one more time. Finally, he answered that phone call, and he said, okay, I'll be back at 6 and we can talk then. So when he comes home, I go outside and talk with him, and we're in the car, and like I said again, the energies just didn't match. And so up until this point, analogy time. You know how with Netflix, you have a Netflix subscription, and it automatically comes out of your account or your bank account each month. Now, if you don't have the app downloaded, you don't have access to it. But as soon as you download the app, you have all the titles. You don't have to earn them back. You don't have to be like, watch a video to earn episode 2. You get it all back because you've been paying for it. And so at this point in my life, that's basically how my relationship was with God. I believed, I had faith, the spiritual withdrawal. I was paying my money spiritually, but I didn't have it downloaded. I wasn't actively watching or investing time with God. And like overall, and I didn't ever figure out why, but I was off in that, and spiritually, in my faith to an extent, and just getting through the days, like I said. But in this moment in the car while we're talking, and he's kind of talking in circles, and he's not saying anything, and he's just very, not reserved, but resolved, and just like, what's wrong? What's the issue? And this is something that I had dealt with him in this way, but not this blatant. It had been, I've known him to shut down. I've known him to not want to communicate, which is actually the exact opposite of the beginning of our relationship, where he was honest and open and transparent, and he told me all these things about himself, about his past, what he's overcoming. And that is called it's love bombing. So like I said, for me, quality time, truth, and loyalty. You got me. And so it was all of this. We spent so much time together. It was so many deep conversations. It was so much like truth. So now 6 years later, when I'm begging you to tell me what's going on, it doesn't match with what I fell in love with. There was a time when we were arguing while we were dating, and he told me, he was like, I don't want to argue just for the sake of arguing. I want to communicate with you and get to a solution. Let's work on a solution, and then let's move from there. And at that point, it was like, I was a debater my whole life. I'm right. Okay? So when we had that conversation and we moved forward in our arguments in that way, it felt like, oh, you just improved my life some. You've helped me, be a better listener. But that didn't continue. When that mask started, slipping a little bit, it was like, I'm not going to argue with you. But now I'm not going to argue and communicate. So I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to communicate with you. Now I'm just not going to talk to you. And that had been like a slow to this day where we're at now. Like I said, there were some tensions already because we were not communicating, and I could not figure out why he didn't want to talk to me. And I always had this in the background, like, you talk to me so much, like, I already know this about you, I already know that about you, but now you're acting like you can't trust me with your truth when you've already told me so much stuff. Why this new truth I can't be trusted with? I was being love bombed back then to get here, and then side note, found out a lot of that stuff was not true. But I had that triangulation. I never checked with the people who could tell me if it was true or not, because I was told things about, how not to trust them. So back to this day. So now we're in the car, and like I said, he's very resolved. He don't know nothing. Well, what's going on? Why? I don't know. I don't know. And and bringing the Netflix subscription, like I said, me and God wasn't rocking like that on 100%. But I told him, I said, when you shut me out like this and you don't communicate, I feel like you're talking about me to other people, and so now you can't talk to me. When you spend so much time away and you don't want to be close or intimate with me, I feel like you're cheating on me. When you work so much and when you work so much and you can't take a break, I feel like you've blown all our money and you're lying to me. And if it's none of that, like, and I was saying this because he was like, well, I don't know, I have something to tell you, but I don't know how to tell you. I'm like, if it's none of that, like, but when you're acting like that, this is how it makes me feel. And these are things that I had never said before, and these are things that it was like I had never said before, but I did. This is like the first time I was saying it. And when I was saying it, it wasn't accusing him. It was like, these are the worst case scenarios. It's not that, so tell me what it is. So when he said, it's what you said, I was shocked. I was blown away. I was not prepared for that. And I said, wait, what? He said, you said it. What it is what's going on. I'm like, nah, fam, you're gonna need to tell me. He got angry. You just said it. What do you mean? What you said is what it is. Boom. The Spirit, the Holy Spirit, now I call it, that day I was calling it something. But after some time, it's like, no, that was the Holy Spirit. He said, no, you need to tell me what you're saying. He said, I cheated on you. I should have reacted a certain way. But when I tell you, we were sitting in the car, driver's seat and passenger seat, like this. And the Holy Spirit was just like, we not reacting right now. We asking questions. When? I don't know. When was the last time? I don't know. How many times? I'm going in on these questions. It's still here. It's still, whatever. And then I audibly heard, do not get out the car until you get an answer. So I'm laying in. You gonna answer, and I'm starting examples, dates and times, like what is it? You can yes or no me, right? So finally I get to the bottom. Not the bottom. Really, it's like the iceberg. I get to the part of the iceberg that's on the water, but like there's a whole bunch of ice underneath. I get to the water level of the iceberg. It's like he cheated on me as early as that morning, that day. And it turned out he had been cheating the whole 5 years, and the year we were dating, or the 6 months we were engaged, and the year we were dating. And low key just said, whenever the opportunity presented itself. So I told y'all, he would work all day. He was his own boss. So space and opportunity is everywhere, all the time. And so I don't know, there's only the amount of times that I do know about. I don't know how many other times I don't know about. And so it was the cheating that made me say, Google, if somebody cheats on you, why would they not want to break up with you? And and that sort of combination of words got me to narcissism. And then seeing the cheating is what made me say, okay, wait, what? If you've been cheating on me this whole time, I mean, you've been lying to me this whole time. And if you were that smooth with lying and cheating, what else am I not seeing? And so again, COVID time gives me enough time to zoom out. I don't have him in the same space as me to love bomb me, to distract me from seeing who he really is. And so as I start looking back over the charger, I start looking over, you really wasn't helpful. I start looking in my journals. I was talking about you being shaky character and selfish way back when. We always did have arguments about what I felt was selfishness. You not spending enough time with me, not prioritizing me. We did have conflict about you going out all day, but I wasn't the type to be like, when that night is the first night that I ever said cheating. Because I have trust and faith. I'm not doing nothing. I trust you to be doing what you said you was going to be doing. So now I'm looking at you sideways. And now I got to say, okay, how many times every time you came home late, were you cheating? Like, it's a whole mind, like, dun, 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 trying to figure this out. Like I said, space without that person there to press the buttons that have been established and to distract me with future faking, which is another tactic they use in the beginning. Is they tell you, I love you early, let's get married early, whatever it is for you, you're gonna get a raise, just stay on this job, eventually I'm gonna get you out this house. Well, son, just keep coming over, and eventually I'm gonna, when I die, you go inherit all of this, whatever it is. They paint this pretty picture of the future to keep you on. For me, it was, you're gonna be in this relationship. And so, but like I said, without that time to press those buttons and to do those things, I've started becoming more aware of what was going on. And as I became more aware, I got some counseling. I told y'all, YouTube, Pinterest, figuring out what this is. Got me and God. Okay, like I told you, now I'm watching Netflix every day. All right, they got my Bible app. And I'm like, God, what is it? What did I miss? What do I need to do? I'm awake, wake up, And so trying to get all these things to figure out, okay, what has been going on these last 5 years? And so, like I said, they're not there to push the button. So you have the opportunity to start getting some healing, to start getting some help. And yes, there was some back and forth, some maybe not. And we'll get into that. Because it's a real game. It's a real tug of war. It's not an easy thing to just to break out of. Like, it's not easy to just quit your job. It's not easy to just stop talking to your mother. It's not easy to cut off your sister. It's not easy to break up if you're in this sort of relationship. But there are some things that are necessary if you're going to be a healthier, happy, healing you. I can be happy now and look back, but no, it's them just the other day, okay? Where it's broken down. Hey, child, this mask done fell off. There is no mask no more with me. So I can, if I cared to write a book or do this class and I needed, what is it called? Not the analogy. When you were in school for psychology and you have to do these case studies. If I wanted to do a case study, boy, do I have the material, right? So don't you laugh. I told you about my studio audience. If I wanted to, I could do it. But in the next episode, as we go over some more of the, like I said, the tactics that they use, I want to talk to you guys about some of the healing and, again, some more of the drama. What the drama has done, I'm learning, it just confirms what I already know. And it gives me the, like, child, you see, keep it pushing. It gives me the keep it pushing. But now I know what I know, and that kind of truth and that kind of what's the word, studio audience? you know the vibes. No, but that kind of just like, I'm done. Finality is helpful to when we get there, because child, like I told y'all, we'll get to another episode when it was back and forth and up and down and the cognitive dissonance of it all. But yeah, so that was the tea of this episode, and we're going to get into how we made lemons lemonade. But before I go, you are watching a podcast called I Waited. Was it worth it? Was it? So we learned last week, I waited virginity wise. Next time we're going to learn about how I waited from the day I found out, which was March 18th, and the day that I was like, nah fam, we done. I waited in there to see if my relationship could be saved, or if it was not I would never at the point where I thought it could be saved. It was if it was salvageable. It was like when you go and you look at something that's been broken down, can this be restored? Is it even worth the work? Am I even willing to go and look at the thing to see if it can be restored, if it's worth the work? So I waited 2 months before I went from I know what I know to nah fam, I know what I know. So we'll get into that waiting game and just the lessons and the victories and the child, the tragedies that happen in between. But thank you guys for joining. I waited, was it worth it? We'll get into some more. How am I gonna do it again? We're gonna get into some more tea next week. And